Twice a Week Podcast, episode 9.
That was good.
Nice.
All right. You already poured sake here. I didn't see you do that.
I was going to ask them what they thought the liquid was. I'm just kidding. They can't hear us. I mean, they can't respond. If you guys were wondering what this liquid is, it is sake poured into a whiskey decanter, poured into Mexican tequila shot glasses.
We're all about cultural diversity here.
Yeah, so making sure that it's covered.
Heck yeah.
This studio is all inclusive. Cheers, bud.
Cheese. How hot is it? Not.
Perfecto. Out to lunch with Dave today. It's called Cowbee Ichiban. I'll give him the shout out. It's pretty gas. Their menu is like a religious scripture. Super thick, like leather back with laminated pages, and there's like 15 pages of food. They have Korean barbecue, sushi. I think they have some Thai dishes.
Where's this at?
It's on Main downtown.
Okay.
On the right, towards Brancas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Pretty good food. We got there 8 minutes after they opened today, and it was slammed. And like I guess 2 or 3 people didn't show up, so we just had to wait for a little bit. We were able to get drinks at the bar, but our waiter has ended up being an 18-year-old kid. Is obsessed with knives. And he had right next to his straws and chopsticks was a switchblade with a window breaker.
What?
Yeah. I don't know what prompted him to pull it out.
Could you see it like while he's walking around working?
Yeah, like half of it's out. Like that. He's just walking around with that.
Dude.
And we said nothing to enable him to pull it out.
Yeah.
But he just pulls it out and he looks around and he's just like
he already
We're like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you do that? Like, do I just strike you as like a fellow knife guy?
Yeah.
What the fuck? This doesn't make any sense.
Dude.
So he's a really nice kid, though. He just really wants to talk about his knives. We finally get the check. He comes back with a throwing card. He goes, prefaces it with, go ahead.
You need to describe to these people.
Yeah. So
throwing card.
No one's talking about cards. We're not in a casino. Like, it makes no sense. We're eating sushi, and he just goes, you guys like cards? We're like,
I got something for you.
We're like, what? He's like, you like to play cards? And we're like, you're going to do a magic trick.
Yeah.
Awesome. He's like, I got throwing cards. And we're like, oh, like you throw cards. Cool. Pulls it out. Stainless steel King of Hearts. Weighted, son. Like a few ounces.
Dude.
With, like, you know how a knife, I think knives are only, except for serrated ones, like sharp on one side.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Like knifed off at the edges, like flat on the bottom and then kind of curved down, you know?
Yeah.
And heavy.
What?
And Dave's like, what do you throw it at? He's like, everything.
Yeah, whatever. Any threats that come my way.
We're like, sweet, dude. And he's like, then all of a sudden he goes, yeah, so I just got like 10 ninja stars, 5 of these throwing cards, 2 switchblades, and a mini hatchet. So I'm pretty locked down. And we're like, sick, dude. Like, that's so awesome. I hope you keep telling us about your stuff. He's like, my roommate, though, he's into guns.
Oh, my dude.
And I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
And then Dave kind of gets intrigued for a second. He's like, where does he get ammo? Because everything's like fucking $2 a round or whatever right now. He's like, the flea market, bro.
The flea market.
Yeah, he's like, there's a guy at the flea market.
Which
go
flea
there.
market?
He's got everything. He couldn't name which flea market. He's like, sorry, I'm from Michigan or something. I just moved here. But I think it's a Pensacola one. There's only one in Pensacola, right?
I hope there's more than one, because if not, we're gonna get in trouble for saying that, I'm sure.
But yeah, so turns out maybe we should check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to get a whole deck of throwing cards.
Flea markets are sick.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's another one of those things, kind of like the guy who was throwing a fuss. No one says anything to him. Nope, ever. They just let him go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guilty of it too. I didn't say anything. maybe I should have said, my wise ass 24-year-old self, like, hey, bud,
Real quick.
maybe if someone brings up Ninja Stars, then you'll have a lot to talk about with him. But I don't know if that's just something that you should.
Yeah.
It was just kind of weird, man.
Well, I think the reason that happened is because of the whole shortage of service workers. They're hiring anyone. That's like that's a big thing. Oh my god!
Like,
Let's start talking.
Yes!
Let's talk about a serious.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Finally, episode 9. First
You finally
good fart.
got one. Yeah, what the heck's been going on?
Well, we're not in Central America anymore.
True. That's a good point. That was bad.
Speaking of Central America, if you guys noticed Pooley's haircut,
$2.
$2. I'll throw up that vid.
Yes.
I got a vid of everyone. I got my beard trimmed there. That was so fun.
That was really fun. They did a good job. It's one of my favorite haircuts I've ever had. They did a really good job.
Well, that's like, you're like the hair down there, right? So they knew what to do with you.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's what's going on is like pretty much every restaurant that I've been to in the past like few months has like a hiring sign out because they just
Yeah.
And it's just an issue because there's not enough workers that want to work those jobs. And so then you get 18-year-olds with throwing cards coming in with it. Imagine,
like, you know what?
Imagine how his
You have straight teeth. Like,
come on, you're good.
It could be at the front of the house.
Imagine his interview. That's what I want. I want a video of that kid's interview.
I hope it was the same as him waiting on us.
Dude.
You guys know about throwing knives? Because I know how to throw them and where to get them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You're hired.
Oh my god.
I can't believe I put this there. Dude, we're gonna get the FBI.
You shaving my balls with your manscaped.
I can smell it from the. I can't talk into it. I can smell it a little bit.
Tony Hinchcliffe. Our boy.
Tony Hitchcliffe.
Yeah. So, he's currently being canceled. So, it's hard to tell if you don't know who he is and watch a lot of his stuff because he's so dedicated to his craft and his style of comedy is roasting and being edgy. So there's this Asian guy, I can't remember his name. Of course.
So who's doing the canceling?
So every news publication posted about Tony in the last 2 weeks besides New York Times. Like Fox News, like he's on everything.
Like
for
good
this
stuff?
shit.
Or
No,
bad stuff?
like canceling him, trying to get him absolutely canceled. It was his.
I love the New York Times, by the way. I don't know if you like them, but I like the New York Times.
More than most, for sure. Yeah. So, which, yeah, is proving a point because they're not posting about this bullshit. I'm going to shit my pants. Okay.
Dude. You gotta calm down.
I'm sorry. Here we go. Let's just keep my flow going. So,
all right, so Tony Hinchcliffe
his
is getting
own
canceled.
opener is the one trying to cancel him.
Wait.
This is an opener. So Tony brings this kid on the road with him, has had him open up for Tony, sold out shows, like thousands of people, has done so much for this kid. He gets off the stage, gets in the crowd in the front row, films Tony's set so it looks like it's the perspective of just an audience member,
Yeah.
and edits it to where it looks as bad as it possibly can of what Tony was saying. He just came up. Tony came out in his first 5 minutes was roasting his opener, which is like he's a roaster.
You're a comedian. Like
And yeah, I mean it's insane. So they took a 3-week break from their podcast from Kill Tony, and now they're at Vulcan Gas Company in Austin instead of Antone's because Antone's dropped their podcast before it even hit like the news stations.
What did he say? Or what was the deal?
It was pretty.
Oh boy.
No, it was
Wrap up.
It was good, but it's him. It's just him. How he always is. That's how he got famous, was being like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he keeps doing. It's the times are changing. He's not changing.
Yeah.
And he says, fuck the times.
So
this last Kill Tony they had, now that they're at Vulcan Gas Company, it's double the capacity, so they're like pretty stoked about it, and they're just roasting Antones all the time. But what I was going to say is Antones dropped them before it was even like a big thing. They caught wind of it and just immediately said, you can't do Kill Tony here anymore, which was the dumbest thing on their part ever.
Antones,
because that was getting, like, they're getting Joe Rogan in there like once a month, and I mean, their business was booming harder than it ever has been because of Tony, and they just dropped him to try to be woke.
Here's the thing with that. I feel like people should have caught on by now that, like, when someone gets canceled like that and they're covered by every major news source, like, when we're done filming this podcast, I'm going to go watch Kill Tony. Because now we're talking about him, we read about him, and it just is better for them in the long run. So
hence why they'll cover it without even necessarily being on team against Tony, right? Because they know it'll just get their news public. It's something for them to get views as well.
Yeah. So, it's like one of two things could be happening. One, Kill Tony Hinchcliffe might be really fucking smart, and that may be a whole choreographed thing, which probably isn't the case, but that's not a bad idea. Like, that would probably work. Or two, the opener is just a douchebag, and he's trying to ruin his career, but he's actually just kind of helping his career.
So Tony's, like, legitimate take on it with his opener is that his opener is just went to the dark side for no reason, and is trying, well, not for no reason. He's trying to do this to boost his own career.
Yeah.
By playing a victim.
That never works.
No.
It never works.
Never.
It might work for, like, a couple weeks or a couple months, but in the long run, like, you're just going to, like, it's not going to, like.
Right.
And especially if you're a comedian. If you're a comedian and you're getting butthurt about someone who's helping you out, like, what is your deal?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially
if
you're a comedian. If they were, like, actors, or if they were, like, something else that wasn't supposed to be slightly offensive, then
if there's not literally a warning.
Yeah.
Like, there's a warning, this is offensive, before everything. I'm a comedian. Warning, this is offensive. I have to find the funny in literally every avenue of everything. That's my job. I actually have $10 million because of it. And then you get, like, canceled for doing it.
Yeah. I want to know, what did he say about I
mean, he fully called him a chink and everything.
Is he the dude's Asian?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
He's probably paid by the Chinese Communist Party. Fuck the Chinese Communist Party, by the way.
Dude.
Also,
fuck that.
My favorite country in the world besides the United States is Taiwan. I don't know about you, but I love that country.
I don't know enough about it, but we usually align pretty evenly on things.
Taiwan.
Shout out Taiwan.
So here's the deal. You saying, do you believe that Taiwan, right? What is Taiwan to you? What is Taiwan? What is it?
A place that I want to go.
But what is it? Like, it's a place, but what is it?
Its own place.
Like a country, right?
Yeah.
Is Taiwan
its own thing.
It's a country, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're in China and you say that, you're done. You're done. Isn't that ridiculous?
Well, yeah, they're trying to make it a part of them, right? They're trying to control what they do.
Yeah, so the way it works is when the Chinese Communist Party seized power, or, like, came into power, Taiwan became kind of like the political refuge for the more democratic, like, democracy-loving people. So, like, they went to Taiwan. Like, most of the political party that the Chinese Communist Party drove out went to Taiwan. So China wants, like, it behooves them in every way to take over Taiwan, to go in there. And sure as shit, there's going to be a lot of people killed if they take over Taiwan. All these political leaders who are pro-democracy, they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it's the same thing with Hong Kong. The same thing they did with Hong Kong they're doing now, which the Chinese Communist Party won with Hong Kong. Like, it's really fucked up.
Unfortunately.
And they're going to try to do the same thing with Taiwan.
They've been for quite a while with Taiwan, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The thing with Taiwan, though, is, like, they actually have, like, some pretty serious firepower, like, and they can fight back. Hong Kong didn't. Like, Hong Kong was still, like, part of China, technically.
Right.
And there's a treaty that was from Britain with Hong Kong, a treaty between Britain and China, because Hong Kong was controlled by Britain for a while, or England, or I think Great Britain. I don't know the difference. I think Britain is the whole all the colonies. So yeah, Hong Kong was a British colony for a while, and then they released it back to China, and they had a treaty with China saying, hey, this is to remain like a democracy forever, or we're going to step in and do something. This is at least my knowledge on it. And then the whole China thing happened with Hong Kong. And, like, I think technically, like, England was supposed to step in and defend Hong Kong, but it's like, do you really want to start World War III over this? Like, what's the trade-off? So, yeah, it was weird.
Do we have heavy involvement with that?
No.
Like, we don't have any
States.
carriers over there or anything? Trying to stop that?
We have, I believe the Southern Fleet of our Navy is pretty heavily involved with the Taiwan situation. Like the South, I forgot what it's called, the ocean between Taiwan and China, or like the strait right there.
Right.
Like I think we have some boys patrolling there with the Taiwan thing. Because with the Taiwan situation,
honestly, if there's water, we got a boy there.
Yeah. And what's bad about that is like, with the reason Taiwan's different than Hong Kong is Taiwan is its own country, and so it's a really big deal if China they're literally taking over another country if they invade Taiwan. And so that's why China's trying to push the agenda of Taiwan's not actually a country. It's actually just a part of China. And so because they saw what happened with Hong Kong.
To make them seem like less of a bad guy.
Yeah, because that's exactly what happened with Hong Kong. They were able to say, like, oh, no, Hong Kong is technically part of China, even though we have this treaty with Britain. So it's okay. We're not going to start World War III over this. We're just taking over our own land. So if they can push the same agenda with Taiwan, then they can take it and they can eradicate all those other opposing political beliefs without having to start this major war, which is why it's we need to keep saying Taiwan's a country.
Okay.
Because they need to not take them over. Because fuck communism.
Yeah.
And fuck President Xi. Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
It's okay, buddy. Calm down. We know you got a big dick. It's okay.
I wonder if he does.
No.
Do you know about that, like, billionaire? I don't know if he was older, late 60s or 70s, and went for the penis enlargement surgery and died from oversedation. I'm pretty sure.
I remember hearing about that.
Like, you get all this money, you work your whole life for it, and you're like, there's just one more thing. My dick just ain't that big.
Yeah, that's probably
like I can have anything modified in my body.
Mm-hmm.
He's mastered the game of life. He's the grandmaster. All the cheese.
Yep.
So here's 20 grand. Extendo my peen, please. They're like, oh, we gave you too much general anesthetic, buddy.
I'm sorry. I mean, that's probably the way to go, though.
For sure.
Not getting a penis enlargement surgery, put it under anesthesia. I mean,
This is probably right.
yeah. Penis enlargement death.
My best
Optimal.
friend said the easiest way to go is to pay for the penis enlargement surgery. Yeah, if you could just get your hands on something that, like, you overdosing is just you sleeping forever. There can't be anything better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's assisted suicide will be a thing in the future, I'm sure. It should be.
Everywhere.
It really should
already
be. I mean,
is
I
a
worked
thing.
I worked in a hospital long enough to form this belief. Going into working at the hospital, if you asked me about assisted suicide, I would have probably not really had an opinion on it. But now, I'm like, yeah, like that should definitely be a thing.
I think Oregon was the first to do it.
Yeah. I mean, there should be
Oregon or California.
There should obviously be, like, heavy restrictions on it, like very heavy circumstances.
Right, but that's the whole thing is circumstances do exist. It's
Mhm.
not black and white. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, now everyone who just goes through a rough patch decides they want to kill themselves and a doctor helps you do it.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like
Yeah, that's
terminal. Like you could write the rules. It wouldn't be hard. There's
Mhm.
obvious situations where it should be okay.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's sad seeing people who are, like, trapped in their own body and they're just like, I just want to move on. But
Right.
they have to, like, just keep taking their meds.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It scares me.
On a lighter note, though. So you know how, like, This is not a lighter note at all. By the way.
I almost just made the dumbest joke.
Let me hear it.
So
Wait.
What?
No, you go ahead. I might know kind of what you're going to say.
A Bix note.
Dude. Fuck off.
Okay, it's kind of good.
No, that was really good. I was thinking you were going to say something about the white keys.
I don't know who that
is. You said like a fucking lighter. That was good.
Thanks, bro. Go ahead then.
First though, you notice I'm
Wearing your white Gucci's, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what style of shoes these are? What they're called?
Penny loafers.
Because I'm about that bread.
Fucking double fingers.
I didn't see it, if that's what you're wondering.
Dude. When are we going to reveal that Blue Wahoos is actually a sponsor? Okay. So
Yeah, for real. People would think they're giving us
So on Thursday, Bicol and I went. Thirsty Thursday, 2 for 1 16-ounce beers, by the way, on Thursdays.
What?
Yeah, BOGO tall boys.
Dude, they're not. I promise they're not paying us. The Blue Wahoos baseball games is the most fun thing to do in Pensacola, Florida.
it is.
It is so fun.
It is because it's downtown. So you eat before, you go to the game, and then you go to a bar after. Then you go home. It's the perfect situation.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
And it's not like the way they keep it up real nice. They're mowing the lawn. They got the fountains. Dude, it's so nice.
It's a beautiful
You're
place.
surrounded by the bay.
Yep. Yeah, it's the best.
It's ridiculous.
So, I just wanted to tell you about who
Okay. I'm okay.
I just wanted to tell you about who we played.
Oh my gosh. Who did we play at the baseball game?
Wait, I'm gonna get the city wrong. This might be the wrong city.
Tell me what city it is first.
Montgomery. I think.
Sorry, Montgomery.
So the last game I went to was against the Trash Pandas, which is so good.
You know what a trash panda is,
Yeah, it's
right?
a raccoon, right?
So
yeah. Genius, absolutely genius.
Which is, that's beautiful that they didn't go with raccoons.
So yeah, I'm happy for them. So Montgomery, Montgomery.
Montgomery.
What could it be, you think?
The Montgomery Mountain Goats? There's 0 mountains in Montgomery, but
Yeah, so well, that's not it. So maybe that's why. That flowed off the tongue nice though.
That's the first thing that came to mind. The Montgomery, they're not mice, are they?
No.
Okay. I have no idea.
So everyone else is animals. They're the Montgomery biscuits.
You fucking
And like,
what do they have on their stuff?
no one else in the stadium is laughing about it except for me. And they're like, "I got such a fucking, you're so childish." The Montgomery biscuits.
Oh,
yeah.
do they have what's their logo? We're pulling up their logo.
I don't even. Yeah, we'll pull it up, but I don't remember. Or I didn't even notice. Our jerseys, was it? No, our jerseys have a mullet on the back of them.
A mullet?
Yeah, it's like a
a
mullet.
What do you, like a fish mullet or like a hair thing?
like a hair mullet.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's another reason to love the Blue Wahoos.
Yeah.
Jeez.
If that was us, it might have been another team.
It may have been another team.
I love these games, but I did not go for the baseball.
Oh my god, dude. So think about the staff or think about the executive meeting that the Montgomery Biscuits corporate team had. They're like,
they're probably great guys.
Oh, I bet they are the funniest guys.
Yeah.
All right, John. we got the Montgomery baseball team. What are we gonna name them? Wouldn't it be fucking ridiculous if we named them the Montgomery Biscuits?
It's just like literally eating biscuits and gravy because their meetings at a Waffle House.
You know what? What's something you love about Montgomery? I love the biscuits I got down here at the Waffle House.
It's maybe simpler, but yeah, I mean,
Oh, I might go buy a Montgomery Biscuits baseball hat now. That's ridiculous.
yep, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
There is no other sports anything that's named after a food that I can think of.
So these are not professional, but we got the Macon bacon, the Macon bacon, the Savannah bananas, the Chicago dogs,
The dogs.
the Fresno tacos,
Okay.
the Hillsboro hops.
Oh.
Ooh,
These are cool.
Modesto nuts.
New Orleans baby cakes.
New Orleans baby cakes.
So
that's a few.
so let's say.
So minor league's about the food.
Oh yeah. So let's say the Pensacola Blue Wahoos decided to have a name change and they were going to change to a food. What are we thinking? The Pensacola pineapples? The Pensacola pears? No,
Pensacola
not the,
pineapples.
not the pears. The Pensacola pill poppers.
Dude,
That's kind of gangster.
that is gangster as fuck. People be worried about it.
Mm-hmm. They'd be like, man, these guys are kind of gnarly.
Yeah, we're all on Adderall. We all on Roy's.
Anything you can take.
Orally. Or suppository.
Yeah. I got pine sap on my glove. I don't even know if that's a thing. I think that's football.
To catch the ball.
You put pine tar on your stuff. Actually, no, it is a thing. We used to put pine tar on our batting gloves because you grip the bat better. In high school. I don't know if I should have just said that. I don't know if it's legal or not.
Definitely not. Right?
Oopsie daisy. I fucked you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's just.
Oh, no, we got. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that we do this.
These are so good.
It smells so bad.
Oh, this is the best episode.
Yeah.
This is the best episode. Okay. The last thing I kind of wanted to talk about, dude, is a recent discovery we made at the gas station,
What is it?
which is terrifying, and I don't know if I'm about it long term, but it's kind of cool. It's
Okay, I know what you're saying.
Delta 8.
Delta 8. I'm scared of it. I think it's gnarly.
1,000%.
I think it's scary.
Not any scarier than a disposable nicotine pen, though.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I mean,
It's all just the most harmful chemicals.
yeah. Could be way less sketchy. No one knows yet.
Yeah.
So it's essentially scientists figured out a way. I don't know if it's
It really just reminds me of, like, remember when Spice was a big thing? And
Right,
that dude
right.
ate the other dude's face off? That's what it reminds me of. And, like, it's really popular.
I think that was from bath salts.
Oh.
But
Still.
Spice was gnarly. Yeah. And
Yeah. it's
quickly
just
rid
scary.
it of. But it wasn't I don't think there were any claim to be of any of the THC molecules.
Yeah.
So this is like scientists figured out a way to get away from THC 9, which I think is like THC in bud, like high THC content bud.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is Delta 9. And they split it to get this Delta 8. So for it to be legal, it has to be less than 0.03% THC 9. And that's all of these are 0.03 or less than 0.03%
So
THC9.
does THC delta 8 exist in nature? They're just enhancing it, or is THC delta 8 a completely synthesized molecule?
See, that's what let me see.
Because it's really, I don't know. The whole thing's weird. It's really weird. Also, too, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I read that the Delta 8 stuff still shows up on drug tests for THC.
And people are getting fucked.
Which is really strange. It's like, I don't know. It gives me a weird
Yeah,
vibe.
it's a natural cannabinoid. That's what I thought.
Oh, it is?
It is a cannabinoid, yeah.
Huh. There's so much. It's so crazy how much science there is in that world. Like, I know it's easy to be like, oh, yeah, like, oh, people who smoke weed are just stupid stoners. But, like, the amount of research and, like, studies that have gone into that, especially in the past decade, is insane.
Scientists dedicate their life's work now to only THC.
To just that
Yeah.
one plant. Yeah, cannabis. It's insane. Which,
Because scientists are fascinated with the possibility of magic.
yeah,
And it is truly magical.
it's crazy. It's crazy that cannabis is a plant that exists, and it's also crazy that cannabis was outlawed back in the day. Because they started calling it marijuana because marijuana sounded more ethnic and made people scared of it in the
Right.
United States.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure it was big alcohol that, like, because it was growing. I'm pretty sure it was growing here naturally, and they ended up making it illegal because, like, people would definitely rather smoke that than get drunk.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's crazy, the whole situation.
the craziest part about it is not that just that it was made illegal, but that it was made Schedule 1.
That
Like,
should be.
You know? Like, okay, it's a drug that we need to find out more.
That should be taken note of.
We need to find out more about it before we want to say that it's legal, so we'll make it illegal for now. But instead, no, this is the worst thing that's ever been a part of our society and our culture.
Yep.
Everyone's donezo. Don't do it or you're going to die. So we're
Mhm.
going to put this up with crack and heroin and PCP.
That's what happens.
It's the same thing.
That's
as
what
this.
happens when you mix too much money with politics, dude. It's ridiculous.
Those fuckers. I think moderation is the greatest idea ever. I think that you can live a perfect life with moderation.
Yeah,
and
the
sketchy
issue.
things.
The issue. Yeah, I agree. The issue arises. Like, I mean, it's recreation. The issue arises when the recreation becomes like a crutch.
Right.
Like, if it's recreational, like recreational has a meaning. It means you do it just every once in a while for fun. But when you get to the point when you're taking anything every day, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're waking up and you're eating a Twinkie every morning, that's not natural. You're not supposed to be doing that.
Right.
Back in the caveman, or not even the caveman days, just back in the day when, like, no one got one thing every day. Like, everything, you're supposed to change it up a little bit. Like, anytime you have to take a certain substance every day to go on about your day, something's wrong.
Right.
It's just not a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Moderation is the key. But real quick, we're running out of time, but I want to talk about this. I had a really funny idea today. So my brother is a pastor, you know that. So he was preaching this morning, and he was talking about at St. Paul's Cove down south of Italy when St. Paul, they got shipwrecked during a storm. Like, there's this whole sermon he preached on it. But this
is like Jesus days.
Yeah, St. Paul.
Way
It's,
back.
it's after Jesus. So St. Paul wrote most of the Bible.
Okay.
Paul was actually Saul to begin with, and he killed a bunch of Christians, and then he became Paul, and he wrote, like, a lot of the New Testament. Which there's an argument to be made that he was still going against Christians by writing that much, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, so they shipwrecked in St. Paul's Cove or whatever, and this is the only time in the Bible that surfing is mentioned, but surfing is in the Bible. So they crashed the ship or whatever, and it says they surfed into shore from the shipwrecked, like it was a big ship, so they were pretty far out still, and the waves were hitting the stern of the boat, and it was destroying the boat. So they all grabbed a piece of wood, and they surfed the waves in to shore to safety, and no one died. But what I was thinking is how sick of a movie or of a short skit it would be to have, like, this super serious, like, Bible thumper, like little video going, or, like, movie. So, like, everyone, when you first start watching it, you're like, okay, like, this is, like, a Passion of the Christ, like, Christian like thing, and then when they get shipwrecked, you know, Dick Dale, the surfer guitarist.
Yeah.
When they get shipwrecked, that starts playing, and then it cuts to like Laird Hamilton and like Kai Lenny and all these big wave surfers in robes, and they're on like these shitty like Alaya boards, just dropping in on 20 foot.
That would be sick.
Like as a surf video. That would be so sick. Just and then it's like a 20-minute surf video, and then it gets to them going ashore, and they're still in their robes, and they're like, "Oh man, that was crazy."
What the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Why are we so good at this?
Yeah, why? Just getting fully slotted, hitting the lip.
That's a great idea.
I know, dude. Someone, if we don't make it, someone please make it.
Yeah.
I don't know who would do it, but it would be so good.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, St. Paul. He wrote. Will you look it up real quick? I want to know. Look up how much of the Bible Paul wrote. Look that up. Because it's a lot. It's like kind of unnervingly a lot. How much influence he had on Western culture.
28%.
Of what? 28% of the New Testament was written by the Apostle Paul. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Did you think
And
it was more, or that's like a lot?
That's a lot.
Okay,
he never met Jesus. He never met Jesus. He never was around him. He was out killing people who believed in Jesus. Isn't that weird, dude?
And people like
okay,
worship
so
they worship his word.
Well, he wrote 28% of the New Testament.
Yeah.
The New Testament, like that's the whole shit. So isn't that weird to you? Like you're not much of a Bible thumper. This guy, he never once met Jesus, wrote 28% of the New Testament. Isn't that kind of weird?
I mean, amen. That's what I'm saying.
I think that's kind of weird. Do what you want with that information. Maybe I'm Judas, maybe I'm Satan, but that's weird. He never met him.
I don't think that any rational thinker could negate that that's a little bit fishy.
It's really fishy, and it's also fishy because Paul, like, who Paul is. He was originally Saul, and he was paid by the government to go around and kill Christians. He was paid by the government to go around and kill Christians, and then he was on the road to Damascus, and he was blinded by a light, and he became Paul. He was Saul, and then he became Paul, and then he went around and started helping people and healing people and, like, writing the New Testament and doing all this stuff. But there's also a verse Paul says in one of his letters. He says, "There's a thorn in my side that I can't rid myself of." So what if that thorn in his side was he's still being paid by the government to go out and stomp out communism because communism was the message that Jesus preached? What if, or not? I might be dead wrong. I'm just speculating.
Just crippling guilt
for killing all the
just
Christians.
A constant side stitch.
Well, yeah, he killed a lot of Christians. Right. So yeah, maybe
so
it's that.
It could be metaphorical, or it could be literally his side hurts so bad. He's just like, I should not have done that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it could be that. Maybe he felt bad about it, and then the thorn in his side was like, dang, like these are good people. These Christians are good people. Yeah. I feel bad for killing all of them. Maybe that's it.
Right.
I always assume the worst, so that's why I said the thing earlier.
Yeah, that's okay.
Isn't that crazy though? And he surfed though. He was a surfer. He surfed at least once. We know that for a fact. He was actually a prisoner on the boat, and it was Roman guards, and they were like gonna kill all of them. And one of the Roman centurions said, "No, like don't kill Paul. He's a pretty cool guy."
Because he surfs.
Yeah, but also kind of.
And he's thinking about ratting this book.
But it also adds to the sketchness, because why would the Romans kill all the prisoners except for Paul if he wasn't getting paid off by the government?
Right, he's probably in cahooties.
Who knows? We'll never know. But yeah, to this day, there's still, if you go it's south of Italy, it's still called St. Paul's Cove.
Do you think he made shillings off of the book?
Oh, yeah. There's not a doubt in my mind. If not him, his descendants did.
Right.
Yeah.
Seems like a 28% cut.
Mm-hmm.
The big boy.
I mean, he wrote 28% of it. He should at least get 28% royalties.
You think?
Yeah.
Wonder who's getting that now.
Fantastic writer.
You think someone's still getting that now?
I'm not allowed to talk about that.
You're not allowed to talk about that? What do you mean? Because it's you.
No, not because of that.
Okay.
The Freemasons. Thank you guys for watching. We're twice a week.
Let's have a chat, baby. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe.
Boom.